Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. For today, we are going to talk about overconsumption, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I really thought that overconsumption was solely focused on buying and shopping. I didn't realize the exact explanation of it, which is, of course, it's using more resources that our environment can provide for us, but that overconsumption can also include food and natural resources like electric and energy, and also throwing out things that are perfectly good and working and functioning. Since I didn't really know that, let's just focus on the number one act or action of overconsumption, and that is going to be shopping. And I feel like it is really important to talk about overconsumption because I see more and more reels of like extreme overconsumption of like going to Marshall's and Target and Hobby Lobby, because now we're kind of in like the Valentine's season and people just filling their carts up with Valentine's stuff because Christmas is over. They take all the beautiful Christmas decorations down. There's like a void in the room because it's not as beautiful, and they feel the need they have to refill it with beautiful decorations. And look, I get it. I am a recovering hoarder, and I'm a fully recovered shopaholic. But I felt that I had to put the message out there that all that shopping is not going to make you happier. It's not. It's just a quick hit. And I really want you to know that because I lived it. In college and in my 20s, I was a full-blown shopaholic, and I would go out to all the same stores. They were the same stores in the 2000s, 2004 and 5 and 6 and all that. They were the same stores. The Target, the TJ Maxx, the Marshalls, the Hobby Lobby, the Home Goods. They all existed back then. I was really into clothes and having my room look a certain way. I shopped and shopped. I was caught in this cycle of continuously buying because I thought that one thing that I saw was gonna finally make me happy, because in the moment of seeing it in the store, it did. My dopamine was so picked up, and I thought, yes, this is the thing that's finally going to make me happy. And of course, that one thing didn't make me happy, or at least that happiness didn't sustain afterwards, because I would bring it home. I would still like it. It would still be fun, but it didn't make me happy within myself. That happiness, that dopamine hit came in as fast as it left me. I kept chasing after that happiness, that dopamine hit, hoping that one thing was going to finally make me happy and sustain that happiness so that it could fix the pain within myself. And that's why I consistently chased it and shopped, and it became an addiction. Each time I went out to buy a new thing, I was really hoping that it would eliminate my past trauma, give me a sense of self-identity, and also give me a sense of self-worth, because all that shopping addiction was on the heels of my abuse from that ex-boyfriend that just, oh my gosh, just physically, mentally, spiritually abused me horribly. And sometimes I would feel so lonely and out of place. So I would shop to fill the emotional void. Since my hoarding disorder already created the behavior of humanizing objects, I figured if I keep shopping, that happiness would continue and I wouldn't have to feel the pain anymore. And that dopamine rush did give me a sense of escapism. I did escape those feelings, but it temporarily erased that pain, anxiety, my PTSD, my low self-esteem. But all of it was an addiction, not a solution to the pain I felt within. I always say, beneath every behavior, there is a feeling. And beneath every feeling, there's a need. You gotta meet the need. And that need was my inner child, my inner girl, crying out because she was in pain from all the bullying and all the past traumas of that boyfriend because I never told a soul. That's why what came out as a behavior was a shopping addiction, because let's face it, I'll still look at reels now, today, fully recovered from shopping, and maybe like, oh, that's really pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that. There's even these beautiful organizational reels with all the organizing things, but they have all these little tchotchke things that I didn't even know existed or that I even needed because I really don't need them. But man, is my dopamine being like, I like this a whole lot. But I have to stop myself because I know from coming from the other side of it that it's not going to give me sustainable happiness, peace, joy. It's just not. And if you can hear me, if you're in the midst of this, I want you to know that I don't want you going down the rabbit hole of continuously buying and shopping, because what happened, at least what happened to me, is that back then when I would buy all that stuff and the dopamine like evaporated, man, did I feel guilty about that. I felt so guilty and ashamed because I knew underneath that it was wrong. I knew that it wasn't fixing anything. I just masked it. I just suppressed it and said, no, it did make me happy. But man, that guilt really took over my heart and my soul. And when I would get that credit card statement, it was shocking to me. And the point where I got to probably past $10,000 worth of credit card debt, it just shocked me to my core, where I knew that I had to change and that the shopping at the end, it wasn't good. Because I had such buyer's remorse after, shocked by my credit card bills. And I felt so defeated that I would never be able to buy my own place or my own home or anything because I was drowning in credit card debt. And I was just working to pay off that debt, to pay off that shopping addiction. But I'm telling you, as someone who is recovering in hoarding disorder, the external stuff is not going to bring you self-worth. It's not going to bring you self-identity. It does feel like it temporarily, but for the longevity, that pain still exists until you work through it. And the way you truly work through it is that talking to someone, a therapist, doing the inner child work, replacing that habit, replacing the shopping addiction habit with something that's a healthier habit, like exercising, journaling, crafting, and hobby. But you need to put a spending limit on that too, because that, obviously with my crafts, can get pricey as well. Meditation, prayer, volunteering. You kind of have to replace the addiction with something that's a healthier habit for you, because that does really help. Now, if you're ready to turn this all around, the overconsumption, the shopping addictions, I want you to know that it is very possible to do it, because I feel like we all have some type of guilt with overconsumption, because it is very harmful for our planet, our environment. And I know that at our root, we really don't want to do that. These are the two main things that truly helped me. All right, so we're in Hobby Lobby right now, and trying to find a quiet spot to record is hard. Even on a Monday, it's busy in here. But anyway, I digress. We're in Hobby Lobby. Now, what I wanted to point out is that when you're shopping or you're looking around, the shopper's high, the hit of the dopamine, is when you first see the item. It is the anticipation of buying it. So if I'm looking at these wreaths and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this wreath, I know where to put it, I have to bring it home, I have to. This is the shopper's high. This is the shopper's high right here. This is the peak of dopamine at this moment, the anticipation of buying it. Now, as you put it in your cart, as you walk around, that dopamine levels are already dropping. By the time you get to the register, it's halfway gone. And by the time you're home, it's completely gone. You may still like it, but I just wanted to point out that that's the peak, that's the high. So I trained myself that, okay, I love it, it's pretty, I really do like it, but this is the high. It's not going to last forever. This is it. I can enjoy the peak and I can put it back. And just having that awareness has just helped me so much, because I kept thinking that happiness, that peak was going to continue all the way to when I got home and enjoying it. But no, what had happened? The buyer's remorse instead. All that dopamine is gone. And of course, I'm showing you a lot of Valentine's right now, because even I'm feeling triggered in this store, like seeing all the Valentine stuff. I have to remind myself that, okay, this is the peak of the dopamine. I can enjoy it while I'm here, but that I still have so much Valentine stuff at home that I can use. I don't have to go out every single season and buy all this stuff. It's just unnecessary. Be grateful for what I already have. Now, the second thing that helped me the most was doing monthly no spend challenges. Now, when I had to start doing it, I could only start with like one day a week, and I would buy absolutely positively nothing. And from there, it grew every week. I was like, okay, I'm going to try 2 days. Okay, I'm feeling like one day this week, until it gradually grew into 3, 4, and 5. And in those days, I was just enjoying what I had, being grateful for all the items, using it up, eating at home. I was being very mindful because I was getting out of debt and I wanted to stop my shopping addiction, because my little apartment was getting more and more full and really like level 5 hoarding, in the sense of doorways and windows, like stuff stacked all the way to the top. I was very aware that I was a hoarder, but just didn't want to admit it back then. Doing the no spend challenge and gradually just increasing those days, I noticed that my bank account started to have more and more money. It helped me save so much money and finally stop that addiction, that habit, because I was starting to become a little more addicted to how am I not going to buy anything today, because I was loving my bank account growing and me being able to pay off debt and save money and do all the things that I wanted to do as far as experiences go. And I could feel the stress being erased from my body because I wasn't so financially strapped. I kept up with it, and that truly was another tool that broke my shopping addiction. And if you would like a copy of the 2025 No Spend Challenge, please visit my Etsy shop. It does help this channel. It's a digital download. You can get the complete year. It's all handwritten. And if you're really struggling financially, just email me at A Hoarder's Heart and I can send you a January copy of it to help you get started, because I remember being in that place. So to truly wrap this up, I want you to know that it's okay, but that the shopping is not going to give you that loving happiness and peace and joy that you're seeking. I know this. I know this with all my heart, at least with my story. Your story might look a little different, but I know how good that dopamine hits you when you see something that you love and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have it because it's an expression of who I am. It makes me feel good. All the different reasons that I'm giving validation as to why I want it. In the long run, it does not give you long-term happiness. And I just want you to know that now, so that you can break the cycle, so that it's not too late, so that you can continue to grow and to finally find that peace and love that you've been searching for. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and let something go in your home today too.